International Commission is a 43-year-old mission organization which encourages and enables church-based partnerships around the world for the purpose of evangelism. In 1996, International Commission asked Jerry and Janice Bird to establish its ministry with the 27 countries of Western Europe. Pilot projects were first conducted in Portugal and Spain in 1997 and 98. And leaders were identified in other countries. The Birds convened the first Western European Leadership Conference in 1999. 14 leaders from 7 countries, England, Scotland, Netherlands, Hungary, Spain, Italy, and the United States, gathered at the European Baptist Seminary in Prague, Czech Republic. The assembled group talked about organizing short-term church partnerships, whereby Western European churches could receive and send teams to and from the entire world. Every year since 1999, Western European leaders have assembled in a variety of places throughout Europe to network, plan, and encourage each other. At that first meeting, guidelines and policies were established for receiving and sending teams, primarily from the United States, in accordance with International Commission's practices. Host churches from a particular country invite teams to come to their churches at a designated time for 8 days of partnership and outreach. Church members work alongside the guests every day. The host church also plans the evangelistic activities for the week, in line with the interests and needs of their particular community, and is responsible for implementing that plan and follow-up after the team goes home. The guest team prepares to share their faith along with the local church members in whatever manner their hosts suggest. Each of their testimonies or stories are translated into the national language and printed for distribution during the week, as the host church directs. The purpose of the guest team's coming is to accelerate the church's efforts to evangelize. Ordinary people of all ages and backgrounds are encouraged to go, raising the funds for their own travel costs and expenses through International Commission. Since the first project to Portugal in 1997, 21 Western European countries have hosted teams. Every receiving church and country has organized planned activities in its own distinctive way. Churches have conducted evangelistic services in and away from their facilities, planned home visits with prospective members and seekers, prepared humanitarian aid to marginalized people, conducted children and youth activities, and connected teams with the affinity groups in the area in order to share their faith. Some churches have focused on a music ministry or youth outreach. Visits to nursing homes, orphanages, hospitals, prisons, schools, and businesses are all common evangelistic activities. Bible studies, topical community forums, art shows, concerts, radio and television appearances, and even cooking events have been used creatively by various churches. Special projects like the 7 youth projects, 2 music festivals, and 62 Hungarian English German Bible camps have also been conducted with participants from the United States and numerous other countries. At the Leadership Conference in 2007, it was decided to initiate a unique kind of European project, whereby Europeans could go and receive teams from other countries within Western Europe. Scott Corwin took responsibility for coordinating these impact mission projects, which are shorter, usually 4 days, and involve only 1 or 2 weekend outreach events. Today, most of the worldwide projects with International Commission do not include Americans at all. These projects are called nation to nation, end to end, and impact mission projects are a part of the end-to-end format. Impact mission projects have included a women's retreat in Norway, a prayer walk in Liechtenstein, a youth exchange between Berlin, Germany, and Heemskerk, Netherlands, a Roman festival in Hungary with participants from Rome, and a Maltese team serving in a youth camp in Finland. In 2015, young adults from various parts of Europe went to France to help in a youth congress and of evangelical outreach in 3 French churches. Almost from the very beginning, Europeans have wanted to send as well as host teams. European teams have participated in international projects to Mexico, Guadeloupe, Romania, France, Hungary, Italy, and in 2015, Myanmar. In 2013, 2 Austrians, 2 Hungarians, 3 French, and 3 Spanish went to Texas for what we called a reverse mission trip. The Europeans were hosted by the First Baptist Church of McKinney, Texas. They went to schools, visited in neighborhoods, and performed in various venues around the community. They shared their stories with the Texans and participated in the church program as directed by the host church. As the ministry in Western Europe grew and more leaders participated in the annual leadership conference, it was decided to elect an executive committee from among those leaders. The executive meets 3 times a year to plan for the annual conference and discuss future opportunities for both receiving and sending teams through International Commission. Currently, there are 8 members on the executive, including Jerry and Janice Bird, Paul and Vicki Hogovit, Edwin and Sylvia Caruana, Scott Corwin, and Dee Dee Fisher-Doyle. Over the last 20 years, European churches, unions, and associations have changed. Some churches have struggled to find ways to reach their changing cultures. A new generation of young people are now on the scene. For the most part, they are curious about a God they have never heard of. With little experience in evangelism, many churches began asking International Commission for pre-project help, some kind of training for church members to consider and explore their role in evangelism. As a result, Western European leadership developed a workshop called Transforming Churches. A variety of European leaders have conducted these workshops in Latvia, Portugal, Spain, and Norway. The workshops include the topics of servant leadership on the Jesus model and becoming outward-facing churches, moving from come and see congregations to go and be missional believers. Other segments cover organizational transformation and taking evangelism from a single event to a relational process. As the network of International Commission Western Europe expands and more countries and cultures participate, new ideas and processes develop. Leaders from across Europe who never knew each other or the needs and ministries in other countries are learning and cooperating with each other through IC Western Europe. Church-to-church partnership projects using cross-cultural teams are the IC model for evangelism, and this partnership ignites spiritual growth in both the host church and the visiting team. It is now time for European leadership to spearhead the ministry of International Commission in Western Europe. Indigenous leaders are needed more than ever before. A leader from Western Europe has accepted the challenge to lead and advance the ministry of International Commission in Western Europe, begun by the Byrds 20 years ago. Dee Dee Fisher-Doyle will become the Area Vice President for Western Europe in September of 2016, as a year of transition concludes. The Byrds will always be a part of the work of Western Europe. They will serve on the executive and will coordinate the work in Hungary, where dozens of teams are enlisted each summer for English and German Bible camps. Working with the Baptist leadership in Hungary, the Byrds will continue to facilitate standard International Commission projects in Hungary, both receiving and sending. The Byrds will continually encourage and promote American participation in Europe. Plans are to expand the English camp ministry to other European countries. God is at work in Western Europe, and there are more countries yet to join us. It is a privilege to join with God here. The International Commission Network and Fraternity of Baptist Leaders in Western Europe are committed to sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ through their local churches with the many cultures and countries of the world. To God be the glory.